Welcome back to my channel, everyone. You know the old saying, when it rains it pours? I've had my share of rain and pouring. Not only did it rain physically here a lot, but I'm talking about as far as problems. A few weeks ago, behind this, on the other side of this wall here, is our bathroom, our master bathroom. I noticed at the corner here, the very corner of the building, there was water building up on the ground, a little puddle there. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And you know, those gears start going in your head. Well, what's the problem now? Come to find out that the water line from our laundry room to our, we have sinks on the other side of this wall here. The main line coming from the laundry room underground to our sinks here was leaking. We have a small meter in our laundry room where I could see if there's water running, and sure enough, when all the water was off, the toilets weren't running, the meter was spinning a little bit. So we had a water leak. Boy, was that a stressful time, because I started thinking, how in the heck am I going to dig under there and try and find this? Okay, there was no way. And even if I were to call in some professionals to come in here, it would be astronomically expensive. The only other solution would be to put a new line coming from my laundry room up through the attic and then back down into the wall and reconnect here where the sink is. And I'm like, I'm not a plumber. Yeah, I could probably do it. But it would be kind of jerry-rigged, meaning shark bite fittings and stuff like that. Shark bites are great, but I don't want to put them permanently in the wall. You know, if you have a project like my laundry room, I'm using shark bite, but the plumbing is all right there. And if something happens, I can just disconnect it and put a new one in. Whatever, it's not a big deal. But to have it in your wall permanently, a shark bite, you know, I heard they last a while, but I don't want to take a chance. So I called some plumbers, and they're reasonably priced. I did a lot of the work for them as far as taking all the hardy board off here. But you can see here in the picture, I had to take all the hardy board off. We had to find where the water line was in respect to where my sink is here behind the wall. Cut that out and put a new line coming from the laundry room up through the attic and then back down here, and they use PEX because I wanted PEX pipe in there, and we did both the cold and the hot. I didn't want to mess around in the future again. So that was stressful because from that moment on until I can get a plumber here, we had to constantly shut our water off when we weren't using it, and then when we needed it, we had to turn the water back on. And you don't realize how much water you use or you need at the moment just to rinse your hands real quick, or you did something, you got to rinse your hands. You got to just rinse something, you know, a dish or whatever, and turning that water on and off in the laundry room, it makes you realize how much water you really use. But yeah, that was a pretty stressful moment, but that's done. I put the hardy board back up, and so yeah, that was a very stressful moment for me. The next project I had to tackle was our AC. Now, it's not getting, although we've been having very cool weather lately, it's been great, but I know it's coming within the next week or two, a couple weeks actually. The weather's going to start getting hotter and hotter. I started installing my AC system. Let me show you what I've been doing here and what I've done so far. So what I ended up having to do was take apart the air handler piece by piece. The first piece that I'm pulling out here is the coil, of course, and that's fairly heavy. So that had to come out first. And the opening there, I had opened that as big as I could without cutting the joists, of course. And the coils, of course, make a great decorative hat. Next, I had to remove the blower motor. Now, this blower motor I'm going to save. I can make a great fan for this, for the workshop, the garage. That would make an excellent fan to stay cool in the summer. Then the last part was removing the actual air handler, the shell of the air handler. And I'm very grateful it was 2 halves to take off. So this was the bottom portion of the air handler. And this was the upper portion of the air handler. So it wasn't too bad. And this is where the air handler used to be. So the new air handler, I had to remove, of course, the coil, the blower motor, the electronics inside, and the heating element also. And one side of the air handler. So there's actually, you see the 2 sides here, the other 2 sides are missing to make it much, much lighter. I was able to pull it up, and if it wasn't for me taking the one side off, I wouldn't be able to do what you're seeing here, tilt it a little bit because it's hitting the ceiling about now, and I had to move it a little bit so it wouldn't hit the ceiling of the roof, that is. And I finally got it. And then once I got it up in there, of course, it's just a matter of putting the sides on it, the blower motor, putting the electrical stuff back together, and all that wonderful stuff. Now, I actually said a prayer before lifting this coil up. This one is much heavier than the coil I took down. The other one was aluminum. This one has copper coils, and it was just heavier. I just had to get it spun around so I can fit it through the opening. And that was a relief, trust me. So putting this coil in there was fun, let me tell you, all while getting nails in the back from the roof there. But I have my drain pan set up, and I'm trying to place this coil on the pan and trying to get it into the air handler while the air handler is sliding back, and I'm trying to pull the air handler back towards me, all while trying to push the coil into the air handler, and that was fun, let me tell you. Also, I wish I had $1 for every time I whacked my head on those joists and the nails sticking through the roof there. I wouldn't need to be doing YouTube, that's for sure. And now it's just a matter of putting everything back together. And outside, I had poured a cement slab for the outside unit. Now working outside, I'm going to bring the line set through under the eaves. Now we'll carefully try to unroll the line sets.
So we taped the two line sets together and we ran the thermostat wire in between it for the outside unit. So what I'm doing here is I taped a rope to a 3/4 inch PEX pipe, so when I crawl up into the attic I can reach the rope, and the other end is tied to the line set.
So what I've done is I pulled it up into the attic enough to where I can put my connections here. Now, unfortunately, I was waiting on this special sealant. It's called Nylock. And these connections here, they come with the line set. They go onto the outside unit. They screw on the outside unit, and then those lines screw onto here. Now, down in here, it's flared down there, and this has a flare seat down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. But anyways, what you do is you take this Nylock stuff and you put it down in where the flare is, and it's supposed to lubricate it as you're tightening it, of course, and it seals it really, really good. So I got one for the big line, the 3/4 inch line, and the 3/8 line here. So that's what I'm waiting on, and UPS showed that it's running late and they don't know when it's coming. So it's one of those deals. So anyways, I think I'm going to end this video now. I just have to connect the lines, run the thermostat lines to the air conditioner, and then seal the ductwork to the air handler and all that stuff, and try it out, see if it works. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.